Welcome to the Perfectly Planet podcast, where we're dedicated to growing with you on our journey towards a healthier, happier, and more sustainable lifestyle. I'm your co-host, Besame Schwerin, health and wellness enthusiast and loving all things plant-based. Whether you're a seasoned vegan or you're just dipping your toes into plant-based living or just curious about a healthier lifestyle, you're in the right place. Good morning, Daphne. How are you?
Good morning, Besame. I'm doing you. It has been a busy week and a busy weekend. Thanks for taking time, everyone, to join us today. I want to start by giving a huge shout out to the amazing women who ran the Ironman triathlon yesterday in Kona, Hawaii.
Yes.
And more importantly, to Lucy Charles Barkley, who had an amazing win yesterday and set a new course record. So I've been following LCB for years. And just the thought of swimming 2.4 miles and biking 112 miles and running 26 miles back to back, it's an incredible feat. And I just want to acknowledge the amazing women who had center stage all day and put on an incredible performance. And we all look up to you, and we are all aspiring to be as mentally and physically resilient as you are. But talking about mental and physical resilience, I'd like to introduce another amazing woman, which is our guest, Dr. Svetlana Chamoun. Dr. Chamoun, welcome to the Perfectly Planted podcast.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Besame and Daphne. It's my pleasure to be here today.
Well, I was looking through your bio, and there are so many amazing things that you have accomplished in this industry. And I just want to highlight a few for those who are listening or viewing, but really we're here to hear your story. So Dr. Chamoun is an accomplished leader in the healthcare industry, and she is recognized for her expertise in cardiology and lifestyle medicine, which is where I had an opportunity to meet her and get to know her. But more importantly, as the founder and president of CardioSeeds LLC and creator and host of the CardioSeeds podcast, which I would definitely encourage you to listen to. She just combines a passion for preventive cardiology, preventive health, and a commitment to educating and inspiring others. And that's whether it's healthcare professionals or just people in the community. And I think that's core to the message. With certification in both cardiology and lifestyle medicine, and also being certified as a health and wellness coach by AFPA, I think this combination of skills, the health, the prevention, the focus on mental and behavioral health, you've just found a core way to develop a message and connect with people. And we are so pleased to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you so much, Daphne, for this kind introduction. And I guess, as you said, before, and as Besame said, as we all say, everybody in lifestyle medicine has a story to tell, right? Yeah. And we'll be chatting today about my story. And for me, as you said, blending lifestyle medicine and cardiology and my further, opening my business was not simple, but it was kind of organic to me. And cardiovascular prevention through stress and burnout reduction is a very personal story to me, because first and foremost, I'm a cardiologist who understands the cause effect between work-related burnout and development of cardiovascular disease. And secondly, I experienced burnout firsthand, and not once, but twice. I'm equipped also with resilience, knowledge, and tools to change my work-life balance. So I founded a company, CardioSeeds, as you said, to help other healthcare professionals advance their cardiovascular health and overall wellness through stress and burnout reduction and other pillars of lifestyle medicine. So my story actually started in Soviet Ukraine and was filled with rich culture, and adversity also, as well as triumphs and tragedies. So all those things shaped the person I'm now and the professional I'm today. And I was raised in a family of professionals and intellectuals. My mom is Jewish. My mom was a professor at the university, and she was very strict. And she was stern. She tried to raise me in traditional values, educate me in traditional values. At the same time, my dad was, sort of a free spirit. He was a journalist, a dissident journalist who, stood against the government and paid the price. Actually, he was sent to Siberian Gulag and spent several years in Siberian Gulag. But before that happened, he really instilled this, free spirit in me, and we traveled with him extensively throughout our country. He showed me so many places, and he really instilled the spirit of adventure in me. And I entered medical school when I was 16, and by the age of 26, I had my medical degree and I had my PhD degree already. So unfortunately, when I was about 24, our country plunged into the post-Soviet turmoil. And when I was 26, I had to take my daughters and immigrate to first Canada and then the US to seek brighter future for myself and my daughters, because there was no future there at that time, at least. And I literally, when they say, I thought it was a joke in the past when people said I came to this country with $200 in my pocket. When for me it was, literally speaking, $400 in my pocket and clothes on my back. This is it. I didn't even have language. I didn't speak English when I came to this country, and then, shortly after we came, I received tragic news of my dad's passing, and that shattered my world for years to come. And essentially, I was equipped with this resilience and courage and young age at that time. So, and interestingly enough, my mom, who was a professor of psychoanalysis, she wrote books on self-care and resilience, and she published books on self-care and resilience. So I had that knowledge with me, and I persevered. And despite all those years of taking care of, as a single mom, of my daughters, and my mom was shattered with this my dad's suicide, and I had to take care of her and all this single-handedly while going through immigration and going through several years of retraining here in the United States as a resident and then as a fellow, and going through jobs as a cardiologist for 20 years, long hours and grueling jobs and all that stuff. And all of that, I survived and I thrived somehow. I don't know how I did this, but somehow, not only I did this, I sent my daughters to college, I helped my mom, I wrote books, and then I realized I've been doing all this, and this is all, this spirit is living in me, and I'm feeding other people with my strength. And my daughter started telling me, Mom, you've been doing all this, and you are doing it differently, not like people back home, and you are inspiring us to do some things differently, So essentially, and then fast forward essentially to 2019, my husband, I remarried to my colleague here, to a cardiologist, and fast forward 2019, he gives me a brochure for the American College of Cardiology annual meeting. The American College of Lifestyle Medicine annual meeting, and that changed my life. So it changed your life, probably at some point. It changed my life, and this is how I got board certified in lifestyle medicine in addition to cardiology. Then I got certified as a health and wellness coach, and essentially at that point also the COVID pandemic started, and I saw how the burnout engulfed medical community, and also the fact that the pillars of lifestyle medicine, I'm sorry, lifestyle medicine weren't practiced among the mainstream medicine, how much it affected our patients also, and their cardiovascular health and chronic diseases, how much they could have been prevented and they were not prevented, and this affected the health and survivorship of our patients from COVID, so negatively affected it. And so I realized that I could contribute to the positive part of it with uh, my knowledge of lifestyle medicine, my knowledge of cardiology, my knowledge of health and wellness and coaching. So I said, 20 years of cardiology is enough. So I can do it differently. I left my work, I left my job, and I started CardioSeeds. So and I started the CardioSeeds podcast with that aim to dedicate my services to lifestyle interventions, behavioral coaching, and aim for cardiovascular risk reduction through stress reduction, through burnout reduction, and transformative powers of lifestyle medicine. So this is my goal now. I co-chair the cardiology member interest group at the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. I also started the work-life balance and cardiovascular health subcommittee within the MIG to expand the message that the earlier we prevent chronic work-related stress, the earlier we address widespread burnout among the healthcare professionals, the more cardiovascular prevention among our healthcare professionals we can introduce. So this is my goal and my mission now.
That's amazing. That is amazing. There's just a little mission there, right? Yeah. Dr. Chamoun, your credentials alone are incredible, but just sharing your journey just makes me put you in a completely another level. It's extremely impressive. But I'm curious, through all of this, what really has driven you? What is your why? Why is this work so important to you?
Look, at this stage of my career, I am grateful that my actions and objectives resonate deeply with my personal and professional values. So they all can come together finally. So I'm far moved beyond the phase of my life when I struggled, to struggle to put food on the table or caring for my mom and send my daughters to college. So I have accomplished that. I enjoy my life. I'm completely financially secure. I'm comfortable with my life. So I can do what I want now and what I think is important. So I think that promoting wellness of healthcare professionals is one of the most paramount importances of our healthcare, of the founding blocks that our healthcare cannot live without, because we are talking about patients, investing in patients, investing in AI, even in all of those missions that healthcare systems have. But without wellness and health of healthcare professionals, all of this cannot be done effectively, profoundly, and wholesomely. So wellness of healthcare professionals starts on not only on the personal level, but also on the system level. And if we don't address the system and personal altogether, reasons for chronic stress and burnout, all this will accumulate over years and will be related to cardiovascular diseases, disturbances, cardiometabolic diseases in our healthcare professionals in the long run. In the long run. Atrial fibrillation, hypertension, hyperlipidemia, coronary heart disease, myocardial infarctions, all of this it doesn't happen all together at once in 1 month, 1 week. All of this is all cumulative. And cause effect may not be, obvious for many and may not be reported as such. You follow me? It may not be reported as related to stress or burnout, but it's a very well-known cause effect. It's a very well-documented cause effect. So if we don't pay attention, raise awareness, and reduce those stresses, reduce that burnout, this will inevitably happen, even though it may not be reported as such in as a cause of those cardiovascular complications. So, but I think it can be done, and I think it needs to start to be done at some, so as a groundwork needs to start.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think it's so important because as we fly on a flight, it's always your oxygen mask first, and then you help the others, right? So this is, correlating a bit. But you mentioned being burnt out twice, not once, but twice. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? I mean, you must have firsthand experience of that burnout and the stress that now you're so passionately to try and fix in the healthcare for healthcare professionals.
And can you define what burnout is? Because I think it's a term a lot of people hear, but don't maybe understand.
Yeah, burnout. So essentially, burnout now is as a burnout syndrome is an official diagnosis that entered ICD-11 actually, and that we have to be thankful to Christina Maslach from UC Berkeley. So it's a burnout syndrome resulting from excessive chronic workplace stress that has not been resolved. So Dr. Maslach gave it a specific definition. She defined a classic triad of symptoms, and she even developed a tool which is called MBI, the Maslach Burnout Inventory. It's like the questionnaire for medical professionals, 22 questions, and there is one for like medical students, for other professionals. So there are multiple tools that one can use for different populations, right? So for medical professionals, there's a specific tool, and interestingly enough, the burnout can present differently for female professionals and for male professionals. So for women physicians, for instance, or nurses or other professionals, there's a classic triad. All three components are present. The feeling of emotional exhaustion, then depersonalization, and then number 3 is like a feeling of the lack of accomplishment, not like we're lacking any accomplishment, but we feel that we may lack accomplishment. And males, they don't feel this way. so they start with depersonalization, then emotional exhaustion, and then they always feel accomplished. They feel like they're the best docs ever, but people around them start noticing cynicism. You follow me? Cynicism. So this is how people around male docs know that they are burning out. So that's the key. That's the essentially the way for other people to notice. But that's the burnout definition, and it's important also to be able to distinguish between stress, chronic stress, and burnout itself. So there is Dr. Selye. They found or rather described this stress curve right? Chronic stress curve, or rather acute to chronic and then to burnout stress curve. So stress is not linear. It's like a bell-shaped curve that human beings, we are very, very resilient and adaptable. So our bodies and minds have ability to adapt to stresses and chronic stresses. But so stress starts with adaptation of our physiological and mental mechanisms. So like our bodies, like the heart rate goes up, the blood pressure and the mental acuity goes up. So we adapt to optimal performance naturally. Like whether we are doing performing an exam, for instance, or we have to fight, literally speaking. This is evolutionary. Blood pressure and heart rate goes up to fight with a bull, for instance, or with a mammoth in the past, right? So now we don't need to fight with a bull or a mammoth, but it's still the case. But when those things go for a very long time, they get exhausted. Our bodies and minds get exhausted. So this curve of optimal performance goes eventually down and down and down and down. And our abilities to our resilience, abilities to adapt go down. So, and burnout inevitably start manifesting as exhaustion, emotional, physical, etc., etc. And then our ability to replenish energy. When the energy drain exceeds our ability to replenish energy, it results in a complete burnout or complete exhaustion. So that's the bottom line.
And do you, again, I know you said that the correlation between this chronic stress burnout and the cardiovascular disease, just the general cardiometabolic dysfunction and healthcare providers in general, nurses, physicians, every care provider, I think, has been impacted the past 4 years.
Pretty much. It's not only that. There is statistics before COVID-19, obviously, so, and after, and during and after. So it's not like we've been doing great before, right? So it happened that we've been just languishing before COVID-19. The statistics haven't been great across the board. It's just during COVID-19, we just spiraled down as an overall group of professionals, but we have not been doing well for a while. We have not been doing well for a while. So the thing is that curve that we were talking about, we can say it's a stress curve, or we can call it languishing curve, right? So according to sociology or sociological or like bureaus, like for instance, Deloitte, right? They did the studies that, they studied groups of people, groups of workers, for instance, within the United States, and they determined that a large number of workers within our country are, within the optimal maybe performance, like 60% or something like that. And then about 10% or 15% at any given time we're talking about are in the burnout stage, okay, in the burnout stage. But what's important, about 30% or so are shifting. They're shifting all the time between the burnout and the optimal performance. So they are in that orange zone between the green and the red. So whatever, a small episode, like, a bad day at work, or God forbid, the illness of a loved one, or a dog dies, right, or something like that, can throw them into the spiraling down curve. They can throw them from optimal performance into the orange zone, And if something else happens, from the orange zone into the red zone of a burnout. You follow me? So it's very important that we know how to replenish our energy and how to reduce the drain of the energy on a daily basis to prevent that shift from our optimal performance, from our optimal energy level to that orange and that red zone of the burnout, to to prevent sliding to that red zone. So yes, um, our medical profession slides back and forth down that curve. When a pandemic starts, we are at extremes of our resilience. Our resilience gets tested so badly that we literally speaking go down the ski slope, and then we drag ourselves up. So now we are much better now, 2 years later, 3 years later, because number one, we can talk to one another. We can frankly discuss things that we could not discuss before. And we are equipped with this power of discussing things. This is very important. We had shores on our eyes before that, and all the secrecy, all the we were completely, this empowerment was taken away from us. Now we are empowered, and mentorship and collective wisdom is with us. Thank God. So one thing that came out of COVID is that it opened the doors to frank and open discussion. And thankfully, that mental health issues aren't a secret and aren't taboo anymore. So.
No, that's great. I know that you, within your CardioSeeds platform, you created this platform or essentially platform that can now feed into certain programs. And you have a program called Reclaim.
Yes.
Is that, so maybe you could tell us a little bit about Reclaim, and maybe this is part of the solution where you can help the healthcare providers essentially reclaim their lives and not necessarily spiraling into that burnout stage. Is that right? Why don't we share a little bit more about the program?
Sure. Reclaim is very, very simple. It's very simple. It's based on simple principles. First, the idea of reclaim is reclaiming, literally speaking, your best health, wellness, whatever you want to reclaim. I ask people, they are mainly healthcare professionals, and now at the moment they're mainly physicians in my program. So what do you want? What are your objectives from the program? What do you want to reclaim? Some say, I want to reclaim my freedom from work. I want to reclaim my best mental state, my best ability to be the best father, or my best cardiovascular health, or whatever, right? But reclaim is also an acronym that stands for, recognizing a problem, evaluating, charting the course. L stands for love, that we start practicing love for self and the others. A, taking action, and other things. So, and I for doing other things. So we have the whole bunch of acronyms for each letter. M for mentorship, etc., etc. So each letter stands for the whole bunch of things. But what we do there is essentially we facilitate growth mindset, and we achieve things through mainly, not only through the pillars of lifestyle medicine, but also we introduce a lot of behavioral coaching, sustainability. I push that things become sustainable, so, for them, and creativity. Creativity is number one tool that I push with them. And How do I push that? I say, we are short, shores are on our eyes, put there by years and years of this, focus on our goal, on our tasks and medicine. So we are intrinsically people with open mind, creative. We were born creative. Each person is born creative. And then years of this medical training took creativity out of us, put us on this track of do like you told to do and like be as everybody else. So, but we are intrinsically very creative. We are leaders, and we are very resilient. So show me your creativity. Write your story. Write your book. Write your life story. Show me your future. So we are writing together. They are writing, and some of them are, drawing. Some of them are painting. Some of them are doing photography. So all of those things, we are creating a final product for each one of them. So, and the final product actually creates a shape, takes a shape of either a book or a calendar or something else. So, and that stays with them as a product that shows them their journey from point A to point B, where they were before the program and where they came, what they became after the program. And it's very telling for many people. Yeah.
And I mean, Dr. Chamoun, that program, listening to where your podcast started, where you're going now, where you're doing what you're doing with Reclaim, what's next on the horizon for you? How do you expand the message? Where else are you taking this? How do you continue to foster the work that you're doing?
Sure. Yeah, that's a good question. I wrote two books. One of them is behind me. I'll show you. Okay. So this one, both of them are coming out next month. So this one is called Resilience in Scrubs, Thriving as a Woman Resident Physician. So I wrote this book specifically to empower women resident physicians. I think it's very important to empower our next generation of physicians to encounter challenges that often differ from our male peers, right? And despite that, all the advancements in medical field, we grapple with, disparities and very specific pressures. So this book hopefully will help them to confront these challenges head on. And it's kind of a one-stop reference packed with carefully selected resources. I really took my time to select resources, put together toolkits on topics like gender dynamics in medicine, resilience and wellness, everything from my perspective, what I thought could be helpful 20, 25, 30 years ago when I was going through the residency, and how I see it through my eyes now, like salary negotiations, work-life, family integration, embracing leadership roles, even exploring career pivots, personal wellness, much, much more. So this is, I think it would be helpful. So I also wrote a book that kind of goes very close to this, but not for the residents, but for women physicians. So women physicians, it's called Women Physician Essential Survival Guide. I don't have it here because it's in print now. So Women Physician Essential Survival Guide, Tools and Resources for Thriving in Medicine. So that would be specifically for women practicing physicians, and also I wanted to show you this. This is a proof copy, but this is a 2024, if you can see, I'm not sure, 2024 physician wellness calendar. This is not a final version of it. The final version is in print now. So this all will be my pictures. So
Nice.
this I changed the design a little bit, but the essence is the same. So I put every month will have like a motivational theme, and also personal wellness goals for physicians and
Mhm.
professional. And so what you do for yourself, these are kind of, monthly smart goals, what
Mhm.
you do for your wellness, for yourself and at your workplace. These are very doable, and they change every month. This is my Yorkshire Terrier. I
Oh,
took I took all these pictures, and and these are doable. I did this. If I could do this, everybody can do this. You follow me? So I made sure that I want people to thrive. I don't want people to continue burning out. I really don't. So this is my small contribution for this year, for this upcoming year, and I'm going to bring a copy of each to Lifestyle Medicine 2023
Wonderful.
meeting in Denver to show to you guys, to show where we're going. So this is my next step, to just contribute to the wellness of physicians in real way, like
Mhm.
like this way.
I love that. And you mentioned that you've done the goals, both personal and professional, which is amazing because you have firsthand. What we always love to do here on Perfectly Pinned is ask our guests, and I will ask you the same question, really to give us a day in the life of your life. Really, when it comes to your meals, your movement, your overall health and wellness, some of the things that are non-negotiable for you, and
Mm.
some things that are your favorite things to do. We would love to hear.
Oh, sure. Oh, like with my
What time do you wake
that's
up in the morning? Wait,
How do
every
yeah.
you
day. Do you?
incorporate
So
your
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
so that's so cool, actually. Yeah. So I am my own boss now. So no pressure
Yay!
whatsoever now, and I don't get out of bed before 7:30. So 7:30 is my wake up time. In the morning, my husband and we take 3-day weekend now.
Nice.
So we are Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. My husband and I are weekends.
Mhm.
So in the morning, we're always playtime with our 14-year-old Yorkie, always, and coffee, always together. About an hour, we spend time with my husband and the Yorkshire Terrier playing. We are pescatarian. We eat fish 3 times a week. The rest we eat whole food, plant-based diet. We cook at home about 95% of meals, and he takes leftovers for lunch. He works as a full-time well, I mean, 4 days a week cardiologist at a large hospital here, about 6 minutes away. Movement. I work from home. I do all the stretches that I do what I preach essentially.
Perfect.
I swim for 1 day, for 1 hour every day.
Oh,
Wow.
We walk the dog together for 30 minutes every week, every night.
Mhm.
And on weekends, we walk for 1.5 hours every day, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Social connection. We have our adult daughters, we have a group chat with them, and we chat every day, at least once a day, send in pictures. We have grandchildren, we send in pictures, recipes, jokes, etc., at least once a day, sometimes 4, 5, 10 times a day. Depends. And it's been consistent for the past 15 years,
That's
great.
if you
great.
believe that. And meeting up for lunch, dinner every month. Sleep stress. So our bedroom is free from cable TV, phones, lights, or clocks. So that's it, completely. Weekends, no social media, complete social media and digital detox. I do daily breathing and
Mhm.
meditation. And for hobbies, I do jewelry making, crafts,
Mm.
Oh.
and gardening for my husband. And those activities are completely for the sake of joy.
Yeah.
That's all. And that's all.
That's all. I wrote 2 books and photography. You must be a fantastic photographer if you took those beautiful pictures on your upcoming calendar.
That's all. Oh, that's on my grandchildren.
Oh, so cute.
Speaking of exchanging pictures all the time. Yeah, my daughter just sent it to me.
Oh, great.
Dr. Chamoun, I just want to follow up on the first book you shared, because I do think I was talking to a medical student that I've been mentoring for years, and I do think we need to move these conversations upstream, because it's easy to cultivate attitudes and behaviors as you're going through training that result in not the most empathetic, caring providers that we need. One, not caring for themselves, and 2, not knowing how to care for the people that we serve.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know how to start to introduce that even from a medical education perspective, but I applaud the fact that you wrote such a book, because I know in training, even when we would go to our academy meetings, there was usually a women's group that would get together and talk about how we need to show up differently and what we need to do differently as women in this profession. Women of color is a whole nother layer of stress. But my point is that if you can start to even have conversations with ACGME or with medical schools, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, that would be most important, and definitely I would be happy to do, to talk to anybody and everybody, because I experienced so many things in my life that, short of being a woman of color, but ethnocentric things that I went through, or and like hard to describe, that I experienced, and so I know so well things that are related to diversity and minorities, and I can relate to them so well. Yeah, and empathy that we need to express to one another is very important. And women mentorship and sponsorship and support is of a paramount priority in this profession.
Agreed. Which is why we are so thankful that you were able to join us today, because when I first heard you at the HEAL group, you're just such an example for so many of us. And this is a very important message. So thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And to those of you who are listening and watching, we hope that you have gained new seeds of knowledge and ideas. Again, we're here to plant seeds of positivity. If you have a healthcare professional in your life who would benefit from hearing this, please share. Please share with them. We'll provide you links to Dr. Chamoun's website, her social media links, but we need to remove the stigma of having these conversations. And this is why it's important to have all of you share the message, both as your own personal and professional journey, but to share this with others. So thank you. If you're enjoying this podcast, please like, subscribe. We welcome your feedback and comments on other amazing speakers like Dr. Chamoun that we can have, so that we can continue to plant those seeds of positivity and empowerment that make this such an important opportunity for all of us to achieve our best life possible. We appreciate you. Dr. Chamoun, we appreciate you. And until next time, be well.
Thank you. Be well.